Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit.
Removed from the Bible, the book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 1. Then Judas Maccabeus and they that were with him went privily into the towns and called their kinsfolk together and took unto them all such as continued in the Jews' religion and assembled about 6,000 men. And they called upon the Lord that he would look upon the people that was trodden down of all, and also pity the temple profaned of ungodly men, and that he would have compassion upon the city, sore defaced, and ready to be made even with the ground, and hear the blood that cried unto him, and remember the wicked slaughter of harmless infants, and the blasphemies committed against his name, and that he would show his hatred against the wicked. Now, when Maccabeus had his company about him, he could not be withstood by the heathen, for the wrath of the Lord was turned into mercy. Therefore, he came at unawares and burnt up towns and cities and got into his hands the most commodious places and overcame and put to flight no small number of his enemies. Verse 7. But specially took he advantage of the night for such private attempts, insomuch that the fruit of his holiness was spread everywhere. So when Philip saw that this man increased by little and little, and that things prospered with him still more and more, he wrote unto Ptolemaeus, the governor of Seleucia and Phoenice, to yield more aid to the king's affairs. Then forthwith, choosing Nicanor, the son of Patroclus, one of his special friends, he sent him with no fewer than 20,000 of all nations under him to root out the whole generation of the Jews. And with him he joined also Gorgias, a captain, who in matters of war had great experience. So Nicanor undertook to make so much money of the captive Jews as should defray the tribute of 2,000 talents, which the king was to pay the Romans. Wherefore immediately he sent into the cities upon the seacoast, proclaiming a sale of captive Jews, and promising that they should have 80 bodies for 1 talent, not expecting the vengeance that was to follow upon him from the Almighty God. Now when word was brought unto Judas of Nicanor's coming, and he had imparted unto those that were with him that the army was at hand, they that were fearful and distrusted the justice of God fled and conveyed themselves away. Verse 14. Others sold all they had and left, and withal besought the Lord to deliver them, sold by the wicked Nicanor before they met together. And if not for their own sakes, yet for the covenants he had made with their fathers, and for his holy and glorious name's sake, by which they were called. So Maccabeus called his men together unto the number of 6,000, and exhorted them not to be stricken with terror of the enemy, nor to fear the great multitude of the heathen who came wrongly against them, but to fight manfully, and to set before their eyes the injury that they had unjustly done to the holy place, and the cruel handling of the city, whereof they made a mockery, and also the taking away of the government of their forefathers. For they, said he, trust in their weapons and boldness, but our confidence is in the Almighty, who at a beck can cast down both them that come against us and also all the world. Moreover, he recounted unto them what helps their forefathers had found, and how they were delivered under when Sennacherib had 100 fourscore and 5,000 perished. Wow, family, that is 100 fourscore 80 185,000 men were killed under Sennacherib. Verse 20. And he told them of the battle that they had in Babylon with the Galatians, how they came but 8,000 in all to the business, with 4,000 Macedonians, and that the Macedonians being perplexed, the 8,000 destroyed 120,000 because of the help they had from heaven, and so received a great booty. Thus, when he had made them bold with these words, and ready to die for the law and the country, he divided his army into 4 parts, and he joined with himself his own brethren, leaders of each band, to wit, Simon and Joseph and Jonathan, giving each one 1,500 men. Also, he appointed Eleazar to read the holy book. And when he had given them this watchword, the help of God, himself leading the first band, and by the help of the Almighty, they slew above 9,000 of their enemies, and wounded and maimed the most part of Nicanor's host, and so put all to flight, and took their money that came to buy them, and pursued them far, but lacking time, they returned. For it was the day before the Sabbath, and therefore they would no longer pursue them. So when they had gathered their armor together and spoiled their enemies, they occupied themselves about the Sabbath, yielding exceeding praise and thanks to the Lord, who had preserved them unto that day, which was the beginning of mercy distilling upon them. And after the Sabbath, when they had given part of the spoils to the maimed and the widows and orphans, the residue they divided among themselves and their servants. When this was done, and they had made a common supplication, they besought the merciful Lord to be reconciled with his servants forever. Verse 30. Moreover, of those that were with Timotheus and Bacchides, who fought against them, they slew about 20,000, and very easily got high and strongholds, and divided among themselves many spoils more, and made the maimed, orphans, widows, yea, and the aged also, equal in spoils with themselves. And when they had gathered their armor together, they laid them up carefully in convenient places, and the remnant of the spoils they brought to Jerusalem. They slew also Philarches, the wicked person who was with Timotheus, and had annoyed the Jews many ways. Furthermore, at such time as they kept the feast for the victory in their country, they burnt Callisthenes, that had set fire upon the holy gates, who had fled into a little house, and so he received a reward meet for his wickedness. As for that most ungracious Nicanor, who had brought 1,000 merchants to buy the Jews, he was, through the help of the Lord, brought down by them, of whom he had made least account. And putting off his glorious apparel and discharging his company, he came like a fugitive servant through the midland unto Antioch, having very great dishonor, for that his host was destroyed. Verse 36. Thus he that took upon him to make good to the Romans their tribute by means of captives in Jerusalem told abroad that the Jews had God to fight for them, and therefore they could not be hurt because they followed the laws that he gave them. Removed from the body. Until we are together again, I love you. I love you. I love you. To be continued. Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit.